still a nobody, Ren. I can't believe you actually came to this reunion.
The izakaya hummed with laughter and clinking glasses, the heavy scent of grilled yakitori filling the air. 10 years melted away as old classmates rekindled old bonds or old grudges.
I'm surprised you could even afford the entry fee. 5,000 yen must be, what, a week's wages for a data entry monkey.
The table erupted. Taro slapped the wood, howling. Ayumi hid her smirk behind her sake cup. Others joined in, the mockery spreading like spilled beer.
Seriously, Ren, you haven't changed a bit. Still the same broke loser from high school.
And that cardigan? Did you raid a senior center's lost and found?
It's comfortable. Nice to see you too, Ayumi.
Don't play nice. We all know you've got nothing going on. You're still just a spreadsheet peasant, aren't you?
As if summoned, Ren's phone buzzed a sharp vibration against the scarred wood. The screen glowed, but he didn't reach for it yet. His gaze dropped briefly. A ghost of a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. Something was brewing, and no one else at the table had a clue. Earlier, Ren had handed over the 5,000 yen entry fee without a word. The organizer barely glanced up, but Erika had noticed.
Look who decided to show up. Did you borrow that money from your mom?
He'd only smiled and taken a seat. Now, hours later, the same grin remained, though it was beginning to feel heavier.
You got me. I'm still crunching numbers. Someone has to make the spreadsheets look pretty.
Pretty? The only thing pretty is how pathetic you are. 5,000 yen for this? You must be starving the rest of the month.
Erika's laugh cut through the din. Ayumi clapped her hands, egging her on. The others joined in, a chorus of petty cruelty rehearsed for a decade.
Oh, Erika, stop! You'll make him cry! But really? What's the point of coming if you can't even buy a decent drink? Sakes on me if you beg.
His phone vibrated again, insistent. Ren's hand drifted to his pocket, but he only patted the lump and let it be, his smile never faltering.
Thanks for the offer, Erika. Maybe I'll take you up on that later.
But really, what is it you actually do? I mean, besides being a professional disappointment.
I told you, I'm in data entry. It's honest work.
Honest? Please? A monkey could do your job. You're just a spreadsheet peasant, and that's all you'll ever be.
The label landed like a slap, and the room erupted. Ayumi clapped her hands. Taro nearly choked on his beer. Ren just took another sip. Then the wooden door at the back of the izakaya slid open. A latecomer slipped inside, so quietly that no one turned. She was a young woman in a simple blazer, her long dark hair framing a face that held no need for attention. Wakana found an empty seat at the table's edge. No one greeted her. The laughter at Ren's expense swallowed the sound of her arrival whole.
You know, Ren, part of me actually pities you. At least most people here have something to be proud of. What do you have?
He met her eyes, his own unreadable. Just a steady job and a quiet life.
From the corner, Wakana watched. Her expression revealed nothing, but her eyes never left the man in the faded cardigan.
Oh, look who finally showed, the quiet loser from 3B, Wakana, wasn't it? Still as silent as ever? I remember you could barely stammer out an answer in class.
Wakana's expression remained serene. She offered a small, polite nod, but no words left her lips. A decade ago, in a school hallway, Erika had cornered the same girl, her sneer just as sharp. Ren's gaze flicked to the silent exchange. He said nothing, but his jaw tightened ever so slightly.
Anyway, let's talk about something that actually matters. I'm the marketing director at Lumiere now. You've heard of it, right? We're killing it in the Kansai region. Major clients, huge campaigns. Not that any of you would understand that level of success.
Ren took another slow sip of his sake. His eyes, hidden behind the glint of his glasses, betrayed nothing.
Honestly, I'm the only one here with a real career. No offense to the data entry peasants.
Her laugh echoed through the izakaya, drowning out the clink of glasses and the murmur of old friends. Lumiere was her crown.
Here, my darlings, a genuine Lumiere marketing card. I'm the director who made us the envy of Osaka. Oh my god, Erica! I saw your campaign on the giant digital board in Umeda. Simply stunning.
That's incredible. How do you come up with those concepts? Is it all your vision?
Every single one. I handpick the team. I approve every image. The investors just count their money.
They must trust you a lot. Do they ever check in, or do you have complete freedom?
Freedom? I am the freedom. They haven't set foot in the office in 2 years. I'm untouchable, and they know it.
Wakana's fingers paused on the porcelain. She watched the exchange, a silent observer whose patience had been honed over years.
So the investors are just silent partners. What happens if they ever decide to take a more active role?
Active role, as if. They bought the shares for the returns, not to play boss. I'd like to see them try.
Ren leaned back, his gaze meeting Wakana's for just a heartbeat. He had gathered every piece. The endgame was approaching.
Enough about me. What have you actually accomplished in 10 years, Ren, besides mastering the art of invisibility?
I dabble in a few things. I prefer to call myself an investor.
An investor? With what? The 10,000 yen you saved from skipping lunch all year?
The table chuckled, but Erika's tone carried a sharper edge. She was probing for weakness, and the room was hungry for a front-row seat.
An investor. That's rich. What do you even invest in? Lottery tickets?
Ren's smile didn't waver. He could feel the weight of the phone in his pocket, a promise of chaos that had yet to be delivered. And then, as if on cue, the device buzzed again, a long, insistent vibration that cut through the noise like a blade. This time, he pulled it out without hesitation. The screen illuminated his face, and a subtle change flickered in his eyes.
Just a little notification. Nothing important.
Erika leaned in, but he had already tucked the phone away. The moment had arrived. Only he and one other soul at the table knew it.
What are you smirking about, peasant? Was that your mom reminding you to be home by curfew?
Ren's smirk deepened into something almost pitying. He had just read the one email that could dismantle this entire farce.
Just a little notification. Good news, actually. The kind that makes an entire evening worth remembering.
Good news? For you? Don't tell me you finally got a promotion to senior spreadsheet wrangler.
Not exactly. It's about business. You'll understand soon enough. Everyone at this table will.
Stop playing games. If you've got something to brag about, just say it. Or are you too embarrassed?
But Ren simply tapped out a message, his face unreadable. The screen's glow reflected in his glasses as he pressed send with deliberate calm. Wakana's phone buzzed discreetly. The message was brief, but world-altering. We closed the deal. It's done. She read it twice, a quiet smile softening her features. Her gaze lifted, meeting his with a shared, silent understanding. Erika's eyes narrowed, darting between them. The festive chatter around her suddenly felt like noise masking a secret she was not part of.
All right, enough with the mystery. What deal did you close? Did you buy a new calculator?
Nothing that exciting. Tell me about that campaign of yours, the one on the Umeda board. That was all your vision.
Completely mine. Landed the client, oversaw every pixel. The investors didn't even know we pitched it until it went live. Eureka! You're an absolute marketing prodigy. I swear Lumiere would crumble to dust without you at the helm.
Sounds like you're the whole company. Doesn't it exhaust you, having no one to answer to?
Exhaust me? It fuels me. The board is full of old men who just collect checks. No one has the guts to cross what I've built.
Ren nodded along, his expression a perfect mask. Every boastful word was another knot in the rope she was tying around her own neck.
In fact, my new product line next quarter will double our revenue. By then, the owners will be begging me to run the entire company.
At the table's far end, Ayumi and Taro were ordering another round, their chatter drowning out the silent tightening of the trap. But Erika heard only her own voice. She was too busy polishing her crown to notice the man who had already bought the kingdom.
And yet here you are, nursing that one cheap sake? Admit it, you can't afford a real drink, can you, spreadsheet boy?
Afford? I suppose not. But then, you've been so generous with your words tonight. I figured I'd let you cover the tab.
Cover the tab? For you? I'd rather sponsor a stray cat. At least it wouldn't bore me to death.
Strange. I've always admired your work at Lumiere. The design, the boldness. You have a real talent for making things look effortless.
Admired? What would a data entry drone know about design? Have you even seen a real campaign up close?
More than you think. More than anyone at this table, probably.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you some kind of stalker? Keeping tabs on my company?
Nothing sinister. Just a longtime fan of the company's growth. It's hard not to notice success like yours.
A fan, right? Look, Ren, you couldn't afford our services if you tried, so whatever game you're playing, just stop.
Perhaps not. But I've always found that the best investments aren't paid in money alone, they're paid in patience. You've been wondering what my good news is. Here. I think it's time you learned who you've been mocking all night.
With a flick of his wrist, the phone skated over the sticky wood, spinning to a halt just beside her untouched plum wine.
What kind of nonsense is this? If you've wasted my time with some pathetic meme.
Her fingers, still sticky from spilled drinks, lifted the device. The screen's glow painted her face in stark green light.
Oi, Ren, what are you doing? This is getting weird. You said it was good news, not a funeral.
The email was already open, its contents a secret only she could see. Her pupils dilated, tracing words that felt unreal. A dull silence descended, the kind that swallows laughter whole. Ayumi's hand froze over the edamame. Taro's beer hung in midair.
Erika, you look like you've seen a ghost. What did he send you? Tell us.
But her lips only trembled. No words came, just the ragged edge of a breath she couldn't release. Then, with a deliberate slowness that made the whole room lean in, she began to read, and the night changed. The green text seared into her retinas. She read the acquisition notice once, her throat constricting around a gasp.
This has to be fake. You photoshopped this. There's no way.
Her finger swiped the screen, refreshing. The email stayed, immutable. She read it a second time, the words blurring.
It can't be. I built that company. How could some nobody?
It's not fake. Kurogain Investments, my firm, completed the acquisition of Lumiere Marketing last month. I've been a shareholder for 2 years. Quietly, of course. I liked what I saw, the design, the growth.
Her face drained of color. The world tilted, and for a moment, the izakaya lanterns blurred into meaningless orange smears.
Wait, so you're saying you own Lumiere? The marketing firm Erika runs?
I own the majority stake. That makes me, in essence, her employer?
The silence that followed was absolute, broken only by the distant clatter of a dropped ladle in the kitchen. The crown had been snatched, and everyone knew it.
You can't do this. I built that company with my own hands. It's mine.
I know. That's why I invested. Your vision is remarkable, Erika. Always has been.
Then why? Why humiliate me like this? You planned this whole night just to watch me squirm.
I didn't plan this. The timing was coincidence, but I won't pretend I'm not glad for the chance to talk.
Talk? You just told everyone you own me. So what now? You fire me in front of all our classmates?
I'm not going to fire you. You're too valuable. But things won't stay exactly the same.
A tiny flicker of hope crossed her face, then vanished as quickly as it came. Nothing good ever followed a qualifier like that.
What's that supposed to mean? Just spit it out.
Effective Monday, there's a new HR policy for all Lumiere directors. Mandatory training.
The word hung in the air like a blade, its edge still hidden, its weight already suffocating. Erica's mouth went dry.
Mandatory training for what? What exactly do I have to do?
Respect training. Effective Monday, all directors must attend. It's a program on workplace conduct, communication, and professional boundaries.
A sharp intake of breath swept the table. Ayumi's hand flew to her mouth, and Taro just stared.
Respect training? You're making me sit through a workshop on basic manners?
It's not a punishment. Good company culture requires everyone to align with core values. It's standard for a healthy workplace.
Healthy? You're doing this to humiliate me in front of everyone. You want them to know the great Erica is being treated like a child.
The humiliation in her voice was raw, but beneath it was panic. She was calculating how this would look once the word spread through the industry.
You can see it that way if you want, or you can see it as an opportunity. Many directors find it valuable.
Valuable? I don't need lessons on respect. I'm the most professional person in this room.
He didn't argue. He simply let the silence do the work, and in that silence her own words from earlier echoed back at her, mocking, cruel, and entirely unprofessional.
Maybe I'll just quit. You clearly don't respect me, and I won't be treated like this.
That's your choice. But Lumiere is a good company, and you've built something here. I'd hate to see you leave over this.
He's right. If I quit, what then? Start over somewhere else with a tainted reputation?
The employment market flashed through her mind, a brutal landscape for someone fired for conduct issues. No firm would take a director who couldn't pass respect training.
You could see it as a fresh start. The training might strengthen your leadership. Many directors have thanked me for implementing it.
What about my team? They'll think I'm weak, sitting in a remedial class while they're pulling all-nighters.
Then lead by example. Show them you're willing to grow. That's real strength.
Her shoulders slumped, the fire in her eyes guttering to a wary flicker. She hated that he made sense.
I hate you for this, but I hate the idea of being unemployed even more.
The choice hung in the air, unvoiced. But everyone knew which way the scales were tipping.
Why are you doing this to me? Why humiliate me like this? I don't understand.
Because I care about the company, and because of how you've treated people. I've seen the way you deal with colleagues.
Her makeup smeared, dark streaks cutting through her carefully crafted image, but the pain was genuine. For the first time all night, she wasn't performing.
Success isn't just numbers. It's the culture you build, the damage you cause to people who work under you.
Damage? What damage? I pushed them hard. I made Lumiere a top agency. No one complains.
His gaze shifted, a subtle movement that no one else noticed, toward the quiet corner where a woman sat in calm stillness. Wakana had not spoken. She had barely moved, but the weight of her presence suddenly filled the space between Ren and Erica.
You're punishing me for something, but what could I have possibly done? We were in different worlds, never even spoke.
It's not about me. It's about everyone you dismissed as beneath you. Everyone you made feel small.
The answer hovered out of reach, but the first crack in her ego had formed. She just didn't know where to look. Then, with a quiet grace that silenced the remaining chatter, Wakana rose from her seat in the corner. The motion was deliberate, a slow unfolding of quiet resolve. Every eye followed her path toward the center of the table.
Why is she coming over? The quiet one. She's been here all night.
Wakana stopped beside Ren, her presence a pillar of calm. The lantern light softened the edges of her simple blazer.
Hello, Erica. It's been a while.
That voice. It's the girl from earlier. The one I called a loser.
Then the full memory struck, a decade-old hallway, the shove that sent books flying, the laughter that followed her down the corridor.
Wait, you're from 3B Wakana? The one who...
The one you bullied for 3 years. Yes, that's me. I've come a long way since then.
The pieces snapped into place. The acquisition, the respect training, it had never been about business. It was about every shove, every sneer, every moment of casual cruelty.
I'm Wakana Mori. I'm the chief of staff at Kurogain Investments. Ren and I work together. He's the founder, but I help keep everything running smoothly.
A new wave of stunned silence crashed over the table. The quiet girl from 3B was not just a former victim, she was second in command at the very firm that now owned Lumiere.
She's his right hand. She's been in on this from the start.
Erika's mind reeled. Every insult she'd hurled tonight, every sneer she'd thrown at Wakana, ricocheted back with the crushing weight of a guillotine blade.
You planned this. You both planned this. From the moment you walked in, you were waiting to destroy me.
We didn't plan anything. We came to a reunion. You chose to make it a battlefield.
The other classmates averted their eyes, unsure whether to stay or flee. Ayumi stared at Wakana as if seeing her for the first time.
So what now? Are you here to rub it in? That the girl I bullied is now above me?
I'm not above you, Erika. But I am proof that the people you step on can learn to stand very tall.
The respect training isn't a punishment, Erika. It's a guarantee that no one else in this company will be treated the way you treated Wakana.
The words landed with the weight of a decade-old debt finally collected. Erika's lips parted, but no sound escaped.
I never...
She couldn't finish the sentence. There was no defense, no clever retort, just the hollow echo of every cruel word she'd ever spoken. Behind her, chairs scraped against the floor. Ayumi grabbed her purse with trembling hands. Taro muttered something about the last train. The reunion was over, not with a toast or a photo, but with the quiet shuffle of people who couldn't wait to leave.
I hope you'll come to the training with an open mind. It might teach you something you've needed to learn for a long time.
With a final gentle nod to the woman who had once made his life miserable, Ren turned toward the door. Wakana fell into step beside him. Erika remained frozen, a glittering statue in a deserted room. The lanterns flickered, and the silence pressed in. For the first time in her life, Erika was not the queen of any room. Just a woman in a red dress, alone with her choices. Through the steamed glass of the izakaya window, Erika watched them walk away. Two silhouettes against the neon haze of the city night. Her palm pressed against the cold pane. Condensation smeared beneath her fingers, blurring the world beyond. The glass caught her own reflection, a pale ghost in a red dress, smudged mascara, a hollow stare. Outside, Ren and Wakana walked in easy silence, their shoulders close, their steps unhurried. The city swallowed them gently. She strained to keep them in sight, but the crowd thickened, and the distant figures dissolved into the glow of street lamps. A single tear traced the curve of her cheek, catching the flicker of a dying lantern. Behind her, the room was empty. The last guests had fled, leaving half-empty glasses and the stale scent of grilled meat.
They were right there. She was right there, and I never even saw her.
Not just a victim, not just a quiet girl, but a woman who had built a quiet fortress and was now standing at its peak. Outside, the wind whispered through the narrow alley, carrying away the last echoes of the night. Inside, the queen of nothing remained, her reign finally over. Her phone buzzed on the sticky table, shattering the silence. An email from Kurogane HR, the subject line stark against the glowing screen. Mandatory respect training scheduled Monday 9 a.m. Conference room B non-attendance will result in disciplinary review. She stared, unblinking. The words rippled through the same tears that had been falling since they left. A decade ago, she had shoved a trembling girl into the lockers, laughing as books scattered. The sound of that laughter was still there, buried deep. Now the echo of those shoves struck her harder than any physical blow. Karma had a memory, and it had finally called in the debt.
Maybe I deserve this. Maybe I've deserved it for a long, long time.
Her trembling finger hovered over the screen, tracing the date. Monday, just 3 days away. She saw, for a suspended heartbeat, the tear-streaked face of the girl she had tormented.
I never even looked at her. Not really. Not until tonight.
The lanterns guttered, shadows deepening. Monday was coming, and with it a lesson 25 years in the making. A few blocks from the izakaya, the noise of the city faded into a gentle hum. Ren and Wakana walked side by side, their footsteps unhurried.
You could have destroyed her tonight, but you didn't.
I didn't want to. What would that prove? She'll learn more from that training than any humiliation I could dish out.
Most people would have taken revenge. You chose to give her a chance instead.
It was never about revenge. It was about making things right. For you. For everyone.
She smiled, a full, genuine smile that reached her eyes. It was the first one he'd seen all night.
Thank you, Ren, for not forgetting.
He didn't answer with words. He simply walked on, and she fell into step beside him, their shoulders brushing in the quiet. The city stretched before them, a canvas of infinite paths. But tonight, they walked the same one, and that was enough. The lanterns swayed gently in the breeze, and the night held its breath, as if to give them a moment of peace that had been a decade in the making. In the empty izakaya, Erika stared at the email, a faint, bitter smile touching her lips. Far away, Ren and Wakana's figures grew small beneath the crescent moon. Her reflection in the dark window no longer trembled. The tears had dried, leaving only resolve. Their shadows stretched long behind them, merging with the quiet street under the moon's gaze. She set the phone down gently, the screen fading to black. Outside the izakaya, the neon sign flickered once, then steadied, bathing the empty alley in pink light. Ahead, the city sparkled, indifferent and vast, swallowing their footsteps. Erika rose from the table, smoothing her red dress with a steady hand. She walked out alone into the night, but not defeated, just beginning to understand. And so the class queen learned that the people you step on today might own your tomorrow.